I want to start by asking about the new framework. We know what it is. Appropriate monetary policy will likely aim to achieve inflation moderately above 2% for some time. But what does that mean to you? How do you define moderately above, and how long is some time?
Well, first of all, Mike, thank you for having me on Bloomberg this morning. It's really good to be here. I don't talk to you often enough. But in terms of your question, what I would say is, for me, one of the challenges that we've had historically is that when unemployment or when the employment level has gotten too low, there's been a concern among economists and policymakers that that would trigger inflation that wouldn't be able to be controlled. And so the action typically has been that we're going to try to stop that labor market from overheating, and then in turn that can put a damper on inflation. What we saw over the last 10 years or so is that we could get employment to a very high level without seeing that inflation. And so we wanted to be very clear in the longer run goal statement that we're going to wait to see for evidence of that overheating before we start to take action. And I think that's the biggest, the message to come out of that statement.
Well, what is the evidence that you would look for? Is there a level of inflation above 2% that is kind of your ceiling?
So for me, I would say I'm comfortable being above 2%, and it's actually more the trajectory than the levels. So if we were at 2.2 or 2.3 and it looked like we were going to be stable there for a while, that would be fine. You know, over the last 5 or 6 years, we've been at 1.6 and 1.7 and been at a stable level. So that would be kind of the flip side of that. By contrast, if we were at 2.2 and then the next quarter we were at 2.4 and then we're at 2.6, that trajectory is the thing that would give me some concern. So for me, I'm going to be, certainly the level is going to be something to pay attention to, but for me, the trajectory is much more important.